Hey Maui, I'm here with Les, Dorothy, and Vince. We're going to talk a little bit about what they do and where they come from and what they're about. So, Vince, tell me about yourself.
Well, I don't know. There's not much to tell. I'm not that old, so there's not really much to tell. I mean, I've been playing the ukulele probably about 11 years now. I started in middle school and picked up the guitar probably 5 or 6 years after playing the ukulele for a while, and then just been playing with these guys since I was a little kid and just having a good time doing my thing, you know, getting to see the world, travel a lot, and meet cool people, and that's pretty much the main thing for me. More than the monetary gains for me, it's just playing good music.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Dorothy.
Oh, well, I've been here on Maui for about 33 years, and I like to write music, I like to play music, and I like playing music with these two guys. It's just very fulfilling for me.
Awesome. Les.
Yeah. Yeah. I was raised in a musical family, you know, much like Vince was, his dad. In fact, I'm playing in a band with his dad now, Rudy Esquire. And yeah, I've been on Maui for about the same amount of time as Dorothy. Not always on Maui. I was on Oahu for a while, but I like the islands for music, especially Maui. And I just enjoy playing music with these guys a lot. Vince is right now actually producing our next album. He's become quite a producer, you know, using Pro Tools and creative ideas and stuff like that. So we're really happy to be working with Vince. And like that.
Yeah, and so you've been playing music how long?
I actually picked up I got my first harmonica when I was 4. And I actually remember, my earliest memory with the keyboard was I remember not being able to get up on the piano bench very easily. And I remember trying to play the piano when I couldn't see the keys very well because my eyes were low.
So I was pretty young.
But I was always attracted to, that's why I have a memory of the piano, is I was always attracted to it. And so what happened that I was just a nuisance, you know, I mean, get that kid away from the piano. Then one day I came in and I was playing the piano, and I guess I was about 8 by then, and we were at some people's house, and so my mom says, okay, you kids go outside, and I was in there showing some of the other kids something on the piano. And Andy Hudson, he's been gone a long time, but he was a friend of our family, said, oh, why don't we just go out into the den and let him let the kids play the piano. And when we visited there, he was like a mentor just by doing that, because that cut me loose on the piano. We didn't own a piano. So it's kind of interesting how powerful it is when an adult tells a child, you're worth it, we should all leave the room so you can do this. It's not a grandiose thing for a kid. It's, wow, really? And so I started figuring stuff out on my own. I'm self-taught.
So I.
Yeah, Vince basically, he's, you know, he's had some instruction, but basically his instruments have been his main teacher, you know.
Pretty much, yeah.
And other musicians just playing and watching.
Yeah.
So we're all kind of like on the natch. We don't, none of us relate to sheet music. We know what chord structure is, and we can talk music and play it, but we're ear players. All of us are ear players.
I'm learning a little bit myself. I haven't played music my whole life, you know, but I've learned a little bit. But more about you guys. It's more interesting learning about other people.
I don't know. There's not that much to say.
Oh, we can talk about, you know, we like to brag about each other, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, how about this? Vince got a call the other day from Greg Allman, said he wants him to be on his next album.
Yep.
Vince doesn't just play ukulele. He's pretty much a knockout guitar player as far as I've seen. He's quite a player, and we opened up for Greg Allman couple years ago, and that's where Greg heard him and came out of his dressing room, which he never does before he plays. He stays in there. He came out, he stood on the side, and he heard Vince and got the information. And
that opened a lot of doors.
And Vince has been on us. Where'd you tour with him in the South?
Toured with him in the South. We started in New Orleans, and we went from New Orleans to Dallas, and then went from Dallas to Houston, and then we went from Houston up to Birmingham. We did those 4 cities in about a couple of weeks period. So.
And now we're playing in Haiku.
Now we're playing in Haiku at the Hana-Ho every Wednesday.
Which is one of the best places to play.
Yeah, we really have a lot of fun there. It's very relaxed and comfortable and old style, Maui style, you know. So we play there every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9.
And it's all ages, you know, all of our friends can come, and it's a cool little gig that we do.
You can bring your little kids or your old grandmother or whatever.
You serve dinner too.
Yeah, great dinner.
Good food.
Yeah, they serve all kinds of, you know, good food.
Yeah, we've been doing that how long now? Over a year.
Over a year.
16 months.
16 months.
We've been playing there every
Yeah.
week for 16 months. Yeah. Yeah, it worked out good.
Every once in a while we lose Vince when he goes touring, but then we have a
We like
variety
it
of
though,
other people.
because
Yeah.
we know he's out expanding his career.
I come back knowing something else or
Right.
something different.
And all
so
fired up. And
all
it's
fired
all
up
fun
usually.
again.
It's all fired up when I come back usually.
Great.
So, yeah.
The
time.
last time you took off, we had a little compensation because we've been making friends with John Cruz.
Yeah.
And we've been getting to play with him, and he says, "Where's Vince?" Last time
I love that guy.
He came
He's so
over to
He's a
jam
great
with us.
guy.
He's so
And
cool.
so, yeah, we sit up and play until early in the morning, you know. We sit up and play with John.
Till the wee hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and, you know, it's like Fred Neal. Yeah, you know, we have backgrounds, we have mentors. One of the big
When I
reasons...
was a little teeny bopper, Fred Neal used to watch out for me because I was so naive
Yeah.
in clubs, you know. It was like, oh my God. He used to go head to head with club owners about me and take care of me.
Yeah.
What a nice guy.
And then the guy who helped me out big time, when I was 17, I was playing jazz drums. I just wanted to be a jazz drummer. I knew all the guys that played drums, and I met Jimmy Smith. I heard him playing, and I was walking down the street, and I heard the music, and I went around to the back. I was at the lighthouse in Hermosa Beach, and I went around the back with a friend of mine, and we were out there peeking in the door and stuff. The door was cracked open. They were rehearsing inside. He says, "So I'll just come in." So we came in, and we were blown out. It was Grady Tate, Jimmy Smith, and Kenny Burrell doing their rehearsal.
way.
And they played for about 45 minutes, didn't
Fooling
say anything,
around.
just ran through a set. And he says, "Oh, okay." Then they called it. The rehearsal was over. Jimmy says, "Oh, I didn't invite you guys back, but it looks like you're a little too young." So, and we said, "Oh, thanks for letting us in." Blah blah blah. But I came back that night in a suit, and he let me in, and that started a relationship. My mom's had signed papers before letting people take me into bars to play music. But I was...
So Jimmy Smith was
So she
his
wrote down a
chaperone.
permission that he could be my chaperone, which made it a legal deal. And I got to go to his gigs for another 2 years free and sit in the front row. So yeah, how'd you learn how to play bass with your left hand like that? By looking at Jimmy Smith's feet. I couldn't see his keys. I was in the front row, so I saw his feet and his head. And yeah, I actually was interested in the drums still, and I continued to play. But when I came out of the Army, after I went in the Army, I came back out, and it was about songwriting. I knew I wanted to be involved in songwriting, guitar, piano, and that's pretty much where I've stayed. Yeah, and Jimmy, and also got to play with Willie Nelson about 30 times. So this helps when you get to play with, when you get to play on stage with big acts. You get to learn about poise and what it's like to be relaxed and not even break a sweat on stage in front of 40,000 people. Like it's kind of like another person sharpening a pencil in an office. You know, it's not a lot of pressure in it. You know, Willie's never under any pressure, and it helped me to understand that there's no reason to be under pressure when you're performing in front of people. In fact, it takes the pressure off. I was under more pressure today than I was in front of 40,000 people. With a 50-foot image of me playing my solo on the side of the
Like, oh my God.
I was under less pressure there because it was so huge. The pressure would have crushed me if I would have allowed that to happen. See, that's too much. So you just go, oh, well, heck, I'll just go for it.
I just give it away.
You've had that
Exactly.
experience
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah, the same show.
Yeah, yeah.
Same show.
He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
brilliant that day. I
That
saw
was
he
at Willie
played too.
Nelson's
Yeah, he
picnic.
did his band. Yeah, he played. His band was booked on that gig.
So what was your experience there?
Well, when I went on, there was probably about 35,000 people there. When they went on, it was close to 55,000. But it was definitely different. You know, it was standing on a stage that was probably, I don't know, a good 30 to 40 feet above everybody. So all you could see was like 2 or 3 football fields of just the top of people's heads, all the way across. You know, just a sea of people. And like you said, there was huge monitors where we could watch ourselves playing, and it was the weirdest thing, but it was the coolest feeling at the same time, being able to play for that many people and just kind of, you know, share what you're doing with that many people. It's kind of once in a lifetime thing, I imagine. I haven't played for that many people since.
Oh, you will.
I will. I'm sure I may
You
again,
will.
but since then it hasn't happened. But it was definitely an experience. You know,
You
like
got
you said,
time.
the pressure was off. There was really no pressure. You know, not at all. At something like that, more pressure. You know, again here, than at that kind of an event. Really easy.
Well, if you make a mistake here, you have to start over. If you make a mistake in front of 35,000
Exactly.
people, there's somebody there like pulling the slider down, and you're like, yeah, just keep going, just keep going.
No starting over.
But being able to do that, that's the way Willie helps to mentor people. He gives people opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
People, you know, he looks for that, and he's a wonderful person. I'm really glad that I know him and that he lives on Maui.
Yeah,
it's really
he's a
beautiful.
sweetheart.
He's a sweet person, and he really I think even quitting smoking, things like that. Because I looked at Willie and I said, he quit smoking when his lung collapsed. And I said, I think
We can do it
I'll
sooner than
stop
that.
now. So I did. I quit smoking. I think I kind of have to thank Willie for that influence.